Hi, I would like to show you how to change all the bearings in the rear axle in W126. Most videos I saw will show you just to change the bearing of the axle, but actually there is two more bearings, and I think it's worth to take a look at them when you rebuild your rear suspension. This is what you will end up with, a bunch of parts and a bunch of different circles. So this is what we start with. This is the entire rear trailing arm. I already took off some parts of it. There's some bushings missing. I also already took off the parking brake cable. It goes there, and there is one more part missing right here. There is a bracket. It's connecting the caliper mount and the trailing arm. One part it goes here and the other it goes here. I have some pictures of it. Basically what you need to do first, you need to unscrew these two screws, and then basically you will have to put the real trailing arm into the vise probably. And what I did, I took some socket and some extension, and I put it right here, and I just hit it with a hammer a couple of times, like 10 times, and it just falls off. One more important thing about this bracket that I already took off. It's supposed to be mounted at a certain angle. Before I took it off, what I did basically is just took a piece of aluminum or whatever, and I banded it like this, so I can recreate this angle. See, it's supposed to be something like this. So this is one way to do it. First thing, we're gonna disassembly this part, this moving part. Here is the bearing. Actually, this whole thing, it's like a square. Here is one corner, the second, the third, and the fourth corner. Here and here there are two bearings. So this is moving and this is moving, and here the bracket is fixed. So this part is solid. So it has a little bit movement. Okay, first thing, we're gonna take this dust cap off. So this is what it looks like. Here's the cover. It's right here. We took off the cover. Here's the nut. And now we're gonna take off this nut. This is it, 24 millimeter. I have an impact gun, but you can do it with hand tools also as well. Okay, here's the nut. Also, what you have here is a washer. This funny shape triangle washer, and here you can see the bearing, and let's do it now. Come apart. Here's what it looks like. There was a washer and the nut. Here's the bearing, and here's another bearing, and here's the one dust cover and the other one. Actually, they go into each other like this. Yeah, what I want to show you right now is, why would you want to even disassembly all of this? I mean, the bearing is probably fine, but the dust cover, when I took it off before, it was quite rusty, and then I started to clean it off, and what I noticed, there is a hole right here. Yep, it basically it just rusted throughout this dust cover. It's a tiny hole, but still some debris might get in. And the other dust, or actually it's a seal ring. It's a metal ring with a rubber inside, and when I took it off, it looked, well, quite okay. But upon further inspection, what I noticed, it's actually torn like this. Yep. So we have all of this off, and now we're gonna take off the outer bearing race, actually two races, and again we're gonna use a punch and a hammer. You just need to look inside there. So if you look inside, you make sure you're not punching this. Instead, you need to punch the bearing right here, the shiny part. And there it goes. Oops. Okay, now let's flip it to the other side. And we're gonna do the same with the other bearing race. So now we have the outer bearing race, and here's the rest of the bearing, and it goes together like this. Yep. So basically we are done with the trailing arm. We took everything out of it, so I set it apart. Now we're gonna take the bearing out of this spindle. I already set everything. You're gonna need a bearing puller not expensive. It's like, I don't know, 30 euro. Just make sure you buy one. You're gonna need one with a maximum diameter of the bearing up to 75 millimeter. Okay, everything is set up. Okay, this is everything that we have taken off so far. Here's the spindle. It goes into the trailing arm, and first goes the big bearing, the outer race, then a small bearing, again the outer race, next dust cover goes right here, the seal ring on the trailing arm sits right here, and then you have a washer and a nut, and of course the dust cover. Okay, next thing, we're gonna take off the hub, the axle, and we're gonna start right here. Here is the ring that secures the nut. As you can see right here, it's actually bent inside, so the nut cannot turn off. So first we're gonna take a punch and we're gonna straighten it out. Actually, this securing ring is actually in the set. When you buy the new bearings, you have also this ring new, so don't worry if you destroy it like I did. Okay, next thing, we need to unscrew this special nut. This nut has 4 holes all around, and you're gonna need a special socket for this. Here's the socket. As you can see, it has like 4 prongs, and they go into these holes right here. And what I read online, some people say that this tool is not made with a lot of precision, and it's very hard to get it into these holes. As you can see, I cannot do it by hand, and some people said that you should try and grind a little of those teeth so it can go inside. Actually, I think it's a bad advice. I think it's actually designed this way, and what I did is basically I took a hammer and I punch it just a little inside. There you go. It sits absolutely flush, and from what I see, you cannot destroy anything by doing this. and the socket is actually really tight and secured on this nut, and now it will be very easy to take it off. Here's the nut. Next, there is a seal ring inside here. There you go, like this. The nut goes inside here, like this. Okay, so we have a nut and the ring taken off. Next thing, we need to turn it upside down, and we're gonna take off the hub. To do this, you're gonna need well, the best tool to do this is a slide hammer, and I'm gonna set it up right now. Let me show you the grease inside here. It's like new. It looks like butter. Okay, so from what I saw online, this part right here, this thread and this part is quite easy to damage. You really don't want to hit it with a hammer. So what I did, I just took a piece of metal, put it right here. Next thing is taking off this seal ring and the bearing. What I did, I punched out the entire bearing and the seal ring together. Actually, next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take off this part right here. As you can see, I already tried to unscrew one screw here and here, but this one broke, so I'm gonna have to deal with this later. Now let's do these two screws. You're gonna need an Allen key H7. Actually, make sure that you clean this hole first. Next, take a socket, punch it right there. Make sure it's sitting really good, so you don't want to round this screw. Here's the first one. As you can see, it's not so easy. Let's use some
penetrating. Okay, let's give it a few minutes. Not good. Okay, we got this off. One more thing you need to pay attention to is this little rubber grommet. It sits right here, and it's for the parking brake cable, and it goes like this. Okay, and we have a rotor cover off, and the last thing is this dust cover. Okay, and here we have the last outer race to get out. Okay, next thing you want to do, you need to take off this dust cover. It's held with a snap ring. You can see it right here. The problem is this snap ring doesn't have any loops at the end of it, so it's really hard to do it with the snap ring pliers. So what you need to do, using 2 screwdrivers, you just need to take it off little by little. It got bent a little, but nothing we can't fix. And next is the dust cover. There we go. Here's the dust cover. We are left with this spindle that the hub sits in, and on this side we have this caliper, and here is the big, like 100 millimeter diameter bearing. Now let me show you why you might want to change this bearing. This part should move freely. All I can do is move it just this much. The other one was moving more, but actually it has some tight spaces. It moves tight, and well, in some places it moves tight, and in some places it moves loose. So that's why you might want to change this bearing right here. Now, we already took off the snap ring and the dust cover. Now here inside is another snap ring. Okay, so first we took off this small circlip, and we took off the dust cover. Then we took off the big circlip that was sitting in this groove right here. Now we can see the bearing. We just need to pull this caliper right here out of this part. So the last thing to do is to get out this bearing out of this carrier. Okay, I managed to pull this bearing out of here. Now let me show you the state of the bearing. The inner race is in 2 halves. Inside it's all but grease, and yeah, that's why you might want to take a look at yours. So this goes here, and then this piece goes right here.